I never thought Marvel Comics would end up being weirder ever since Miles Morales became Thor, but once again Marvel outdid themselves and made a story more wacky than the Kissing Booth trilogy. Because in this story, Iron Man has a literal Infinity Stone inside of his spaghetti that is destroying him, but the thing is that he doesn't want to get it out. And we're gonna find out why in the Ultimates comic series. So the story starts with Tony making a gauntlet to find more Infinity Stones with the help of his friend Anthony. And if you don't know who Anthony is, I beg you to brace your boogers because you're gonna be shocked to find out that Anthony is a living tumor. That's right, a cancer-filled pizza pocket is Tony's best friend. And quick origin story, the ultimate version of Tony Stark was a brilliant weapons designer with an inoperable brain tumor similar to MCU Stark's heart condition. And this tumor evolved like a butterfly by developing consciousness and communicating with Tony as a young boy named Anthony. And Tony treated Anthony as a partner as the tumor had the ability to connect with and control technology, making it an ideal sidekick for Iron Man. And I don't know what googly-eyed Marvel writer thought that this wasn't laughable, but at least it makes for a funky story. Because upon explaining this new gauntlet to Tony's friend, Anthony started to malfunction and then suddenly disappeared. And blood was seeping out of Tony's oil glands like sweat and giving him a worse headache than hearing Aiden Ross's voice. Then suddenly, his brain started to explode infinity juice. But you may be wondering what this sinister looking face in this panel is. Well, my baby detectives, that is actually Quicksilver, who quickly kidnapped Tony and took him to see Reed Richards, aka the Maker, which is an evil version of Mr. Fantastic. And he is operating a gruesome and demonetizable operation on Tony's brain. And Reed is basically talking to him about how he's a terrible hero to the world. But Tony claps back by saying that that's not true. You know that everything I work for is about protection. But like the blue shell in Mario Kart, Reed blows his mind by telling Stark that he's so toxic and naive, he had an Infinity Stone in his head. And that Infinity Stone was actually Anthony. He never had a tumor at all. And you may be wondering, how the donks did Tony Stark grow an Infinity Stone in his head? Well, fun fact, the Maker doesn't even know either, which is a clear indication that the writers don't even know. These choconuts pulled something out of their butt and smeared it all over the page in hopes that we would read it. And we're definitely going to do that, because Reed goes on to share his explanation on why he's trying to get all the Infinity Stones all for himself. He reveals that long ago, a planet was facing a worse apocalypse than Fortnite servers being down, but there was only one being who found the Infinity Gauntlet and tried to save his world with it, but ultimately he failed at saving it. And Reed believes that this apocalypse is coming for his world soon, but if he collects the Infinity Stones now, he could prevent it and defeat whatever evil is arriving centuries in advance. So this tryhard is basically that kid in your class that starts studying for exams the day your semester begins. And Tony thinks he's ridiculous. What makes you think that's going to happen, let alone trying to stop the end of the world? But Reed has too much hubris to give an answer and believes that he'll get the job done. He just needs to scour the world for more Infinity Stones. And after Tony begs Reed to rethink this through, he shuts him up by plucking out the stone like a nose hair and turning off his oxygen pump. And just like that, the job is done. The Maker stole his Infinity Stone and Tony dies thanks to his imagination. And that's about it. Subscribe and I'll see you later.